Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out this video transmitter add-on for the MicroSwift. It's called the FSD TX200 from FullSpeedRC. It's power switchable between 25 and 200 milliwatts. Now RunCam does make something kind of similar to this, and I forget what it's called, but it only does 25 milliwatts, and this one is a little bit more versatile. It will switch between 25 and 200, and it has a detachable antenna here. I believe the one that comes with the one that comes from RunCam is soldered on, so you could switch this antenna out for other antenna options if you want to go circular polarized or whatever. It's kind of convenient to have a different set of options for the antenna. Now this is designed to work, or was intended to work, with the original MicroSwift. This is the version 1, and you can see it would just sit on the back here. You take these two screws off, and they provide some longer screws and some O-rings to separate the two boards, and then it would go in here like this. But you can also use this on the newer version of the MicroSwift 2, which has the voltage sensor pin here, and you see that the board will fit on here just fine as well. Now if you do go this route, you'll have to switch this or take these wires out of this connector and put them into the bigger connector that comes with the Swift 2. This is a 5-pin connector here, so you would take these 3 out of here and then put them into the this side here, the red, the black, and the yellow, which is power, ground, and the video signal. And that's what these cables here are. Red is power, ground is black, and in this case the blue is the video signal. So you'd have to take this these wires out of here, out of this connector, and then put them to here if you want to use the MicroSwift 2. But even if you don't go through that whole trouble and decide to just use the connector here as is, it does sense the voltage that comes on the red wire here, and if you power this up directly to your LiPo, as you see here, there's no connector on here. If you solder this directly to your battery leads, then you will get the full battery reading on the OSD for the camera. But if you have this connected, if you have this connected to like a PDB, a 5-volt or 12-volt regulator, then if you just connect up this only, then you're just going to get whatever your PDB is putting out, 5 or 12 volts. So you're given some O-rings here and some longer screws, and so I'm going to go ahead and take the existing screws and the back off of the. I'm going to actually do this on the original first Swift, and then we'll screw on the board onto the back of the camera, and then we'll take a look at what it looks like. Okay, so here is the board attached to the back of the MicroSwift here. And you can see that just using the supplied O-rings, there's going to be 3 on this side and 3 over here. I'm using longer screws here. You have, actually 3 longer screws, so you have a spare. And I didn't even bother taking the, there's a plastic cover for the back of the board here that protects some of the circuits. I just left it on there, and I didn't really tie it on. I didn't screw it down that tight because you don't want to strip out this plastic here. It's just plastic. The screw goes all the way through here, through the board, and into this lens holder. So don't screw it down too tight, and yeah, it fits fine. And then you want to just plug in the cable here that goes into the connector here for power and video. Now, if you use this as standalone here, this is kind of meant to be a replacement for like one of these micro cameras like this one here, where it's got, you know, the video transmitter and camera combo like this. It's kind of similar. It's just bigger. CMOS here, and this is CCD, much higher quality, and I think that's what they're trying to go for here. And then you would just, you know, just like here, you connect this to your power supply, and this here as well, and this will power both the video transmitter board and the camera at the same time. And you do get much better video quality with the MicroSwift, obviously, but you get it as a weight penalty here. So let's just compare the weight of these two. So the old school camera here from like 3 months ago is 3.25 grams. And we go with the new setup here, 7.4 grams. So it's about twice the weight. So if some of you are wondering where you might want to use something like this, I wanted to bring up an example here. This is the BQE Pixel, and there's actually a newer version of this. Well, it's basically the same frame, same size for 2.5-inch props, but the pod is different, and he's calling it the megapixel, and so that pod is actually meant to hold the MicroSwift. and video transmitter. And so you would basically add in a few more grams so you get much better video quality. And then you would obviously need some sort of specialized mount. This particular model does have a specialized mount for this, but you don't really need anything that particularly special. You just need something to grab onto either the lens or the side of the board here, or you just have it screwed in through these 2 screws on the side here. You could put this in also, like the Ascent, or pretty much anywhere that you're going to be mounting the MicroSwift on these 2 screws on the side. You can just mount this as well, and the video transmitter will just sit on the back like that. So it'll go into a lot of spaces. Now if you want to use an OSD, for example, you're going to have to splice the video cable here, and basically the video in from the camera, there's just this connector here is going to go into the video in on the OSD, and then the video out goes to this section here that goes to the video transmitter, and that's how you would connect your OSD. But that does require cutting this cable and soldering it to your flight controller. Now to change channels and bands and power is just through this one single button here. Short presses will go through the 8 channels in a band. If you long press for 3 seconds, it will cycle through the individual bands. And if you long press for 6 seconds, it will switch to power. There's some LEDs here on the bottom, and I don't actually have it powered on, but the LEDs will show 3 if it's on 25 milliwatts and 5 if it's on 200 milliwatts. So that's going to do it for this quick overview of the FSD TX200. I'm not going to show any flight footage of this because we all know what this flight footage looks like. If you're interested in what the video quality of the MicroSwift looks like, I'll put a card in the corner to the review video, and then you can see obviously what the video quality will look like from this camera. Obviously we just want to show off this board and how we could create basically a larger all-in-one video transmitter camera combination here for much better video on our micros. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.